the situation or circumstance that they're dealing with. And it's, yeah, I mean, our prayers are with Brent and Julie. That was a tough conversation this summer, and with T-Bone and with Brent. Cass talked to Julie several times. I mean, listen, we love the Venables. These are family. I mean, we've spent a lot of years together, and so it's really difficult when you deal with it. The good news is everything to this point has been best case scenario, and she's freaking tough. You got to be tough to be married to Brent Venables. First of all, you ain't surviving in that house if you ain't tough. Because he's crusty, but she's amazing. I mean, she's a nurse by trade, so she has a background and really has a good understanding. But they diagnosed her, and again, the reports to this point have been very positive, and so, man, I'm really proud of T-Bone. T-Bone Tyler has grown into one of the best leaders that we've had come through this team. In fact, he stood up last night for probably 30 minutes and spoke to our team, and it was amazing. He lifted everybody up in that room as he talked about his journey here, and how he's grown. I mean, and I've known T-Bone since the 4th grade, so I've kind of had a front row seat to his journey and how he's really transformed his life. I mean, he is an amazing kid, an amazing leader, and so he's in a good space. And again, we'll just keep him in our prayers and hopefully continue to get good news as she's got a lot to navigate. She's had one surgery. She's got she's going to have another one in a few months. And so she's going through a lot, but she's tough as nails.
Linebacker with the Dudley dismissal, I think you're down to 6. Is that correct, scholarship-wise?
Yeah.
What's kind of your plan depth-wise behind those first 3?
You got any eligibility? Oh, man. Well, it's a tough situation, right here in August at camp to lose a guy. We felt really good about our number's 8. That's our number that we try to have at linebacker. And obviously, in some years you have a number at every position. Some years you're above maybe 1. Some years you're down 1. Most of the time we're right at it. This is one of those years where, we were going to be under 1 and we felt really good about the 7. And kind of having an 8th guy, one of our really good walk-on guys, kind of being an 8th guy, or a bigger safety that could maybe fill a need. We've got some options there, but it's definitely disappointing to lose a player for sure. But hey, we like the 6 we got, and we're the good news is you don't really have a lot of 4-3 anymore. Because most of the teams are 11 personnel, and so you're still 3 deep at each spot there. So, just got to hopefully have a little luck along the way. Obviously, we're if we don't have Barrett Carter and Trotter, these are 2 future first-round draft picks probably, and if you don't have those 2 guys out there, hey, you're probably not quite as good. But guess what? That's the same for everybody in the country. When your best players aren't on the field, it probably changes things. So, but we like the depth that we have as far as who they are. Got a couple young guys that it's going to be a big fall camp for. But you need a little break. 2018, man, Clee and Christian and Dexter and Austin stayed healthy all year. And so, you got to have a little luck along the way, and hopefully it'll fall our way this year in that regard.
What's your favorite part about today? Going out there and the music starts blaring, the boys are back in town, and you see some of these fresh faces that are going to become something else 4 years from now.
Yeah, I mean, all of it really, but that last meeting, that team meeting I just came from, I mean, when you're finally at this point, I mean, these guys have been working for a long time to get to this point, to this day. We just came through 2 days of a lot of meetings. Kind of program installation, if you will, a lot of academic stuff that we have to deal with, and so now, man, it's kind of behind you, and it's just like everybody's ready to go. And so I love this day. I love to see some of these guys. Like, I can't wait to see Avion Terrell, this kid I met in the 6th grade or whatever when he was a little chubby guy. I can't wait to see him out there on the field. It's just really cool, to see that. So I'm fired up about it, and can't wait to get out on the practice field. I love our staff. I don't think we've ever been better. I think, our support staff is amazing. That's been a lot of fun, kind of, seeing our support groups kind of show off, if you will, and present to our team, the things that they needed to present. We've got a really, really good group from our bistro staff to nutrition. Man, let me tell you, Megan, she's a rock star, and she crushed it, this spring and summer. Bina, Bina's a rock star. Pat, our trainer, our strength staff is amazing. I mean, there's just we just have so many quality people throughout our organization that work so hard to get us to this point. So it's just fun to finally get on the field and to be able to kind of, just start. It's one day, but man, it's an important day, and that's really our mindset. Just have a great day today, and let's try to let's don't waste one. Let's just keep going, because the margin for error is very small. We know that. So, man, every day that ends in Y, we got to find a way to be our best.
Dabo said one of his lessons from last year is he needs to play more calm. Beyond the obvious of what he can do to get better at that, what can the system do and the coaching do to sort of facilitate more comfort and confidence with his execution?
Yeah, well, he's a young guy, and you want to be great. He's just kind of bouncing around, and I think he can. The game can slow down a little bit for him. I think for a lot of young guys, the game can be a little fast early on. So part of it is just the physical and mental growth on his part, and the game slowing down. So that's part of it. And then from a coaching standpoint, it's just, you just equip him with some things. Sometimes, like Taj Boyd, man, listen, I'm going to get him tackled about 3 times. All right, to figure out, all right, now he's ready to go play. Some guys need different things. Maybe it's a layup, maybe it's that first completion. Maybe it's just depending on where you are. These are week to week, game to game when you're dealing with a young player. Maybe it's leaning on the running game a little bit early. Maybe it's a little play action. Maybe it's whatever. Maybe it's getting him out of the pocket. There's a lot of things that to answer that question that you do, and that's a player specific, game by game, type of a deal. But I think he's in a great place. I mean, he's completely transformed. I mean, he's 205. He's night and day from where he was again. And there's no greater teacher than experience. So he knows. He's got a clear vision of how we prepare, what our game week looks like. The installation. It's just not new ball. There's a few little systematic things and some procedural stuff and some different terminology here and there, but it's still stuff he's been doing his whole life. So he's a natural. And so, you hope that just the maturation process physically and mentally, and that as the game slows for him from a knowledge standpoint, that kind of happens naturally.
Yeah, but one of the things you said in spring camp, Antonio Williams, was that you wanted to see him embrace more of a leadership role. I was curious, how did you see him embrace that, and just, what are some of the things you're hoping to see out of him as fall camp starts? Yeah,
well, he did what he needed to do physically. I mean, he's gotten serious. He got his butt in that weight room. He didn't get to have power hour, so he was a little behind there because he had to play, and so he needed to kind of catch up a little physically. He's done that. I'm really proud of him there. And then he needed to get accountable, he's done that. So those are 2 huge things. He was a guy early on, kind of a freshman, especially when you come in, you have a little success, you can get a little lackadaisical, if you will, on some of the small things, and next thing you know, you look up and you're one of the 5 guys negative on the accountability teams, and so you can't lead from like that. And now but he's done a great job. So I mean, he's done what he needs to do physically. He's done what he needs to do accountability wise, so that he can lead. Because nobody's going to follow a guy that's not accountable. to doing the little things right. And so I'm really proud of him. He's going to have a great year.
And looking at your offensive line, looking at some of the weigh-in numbers, big boys. Is this one of the more impressive physically looking groups that you've had here?
Yeah, and they're mature. I mean, so we only lost one guy. I mean, and he's playing for the Chargers now. And, you know, I hadn't got any reports out of there, but I would bet that he's probably doing pretty good. So we only lost one guy, and we only lose one this year, Will Putnam. And so this is a group that's kind of been around for a while, and you know they've been grinding, and you know you can't polish anything up without grinding it, right? And you know, so they're a group that's I think made of the right stuff. I love the versatility of the group. I think it's, as I've said a couple times already, I think this is the deepest we've been in a while, in that I think we will have the ability to play a bunch of guys and not, you know, stand over on the sideline like this, like, oh God, I hope he gets it right. You know, I think we got guys we can trust and guys that are ready to go play. So I'm excited about the group. We got some questions, like we got to figure out like who's the best five, you know, and here's the good news. It's not who's the best five of the worst, you know, because I've been in that situation too. We're like, all right, well, who's the next guy? Who's our best guy that's not going to get us beat? We've got a tough decision in a good way, because I think we've got about 7 or 8 guys that really can compete to be in the 5. And I think that's a really, really good situation.